Oh, sir.
Okay, and we are live. And hey, everyone, today I'm here with King Dre. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, just rocking and rolling, man. And what's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Just grinding, working, trying to
Uh
save the
huh.
world. Same old.
Hey, that's what you got to do, right? In order to kick
Right.
ass, you got to grind and everything. You just can't sit back and do nothing. If you want to go out there and like achieve whatever it is you want to do as a guy, you got to go out there and take action.
Right. Right.
Right. So today we just want to talk about why and how men kind of get disrespected by women, and why they put up with that, and what they can do to like deal with women who are disrespecting them, or how to avoid that, when they meet girls like in the future, on dates and stuff like that. So like,
Mhm.
where do you see, like, why do you think a lot of men go out there and they run into women who disrespect them and they tolerate that behavior?
Um, I think mostly in part because they don't feel like they can get anything better. They feel
Mm-hmm.
lucky they got that girl in the first place, and they don't want to lose the girl because again, they don't feel like that they can do better or get better or replace the person. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So they tolerate a little bit more than what they should tolerate. That's the main
Mm-hmm.
reason.
So you're just like a kind of like a lack of confidence in themselves, if they by thinking like they can't go out, and meet someone who's better. They're just going to put up with that, and they're going to deal with the hardship of that, and that can be like a really bad thing, because that could really destroy a guy's confidence if they
Right.
deal with that.
Well, I mean, if you're at that point to where you're letting people disrespect you and letting women walk all over you, the confidence is pretty much destroyed already. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
even a matter of letting a woman destroy your confidence. Any man who's confident in himself and he loves himself, he's not going to let a woman disrespect him like that.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, that's true. And so like so guys just gonna so what you're saying though is like a guy is just gonna have to, like, if he doesn't have any self-respect for himself, he's gonna learn he has to find that for himself in order to like kind of deal with the hardships with that and not avoid women like that.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
so like, what would you say? I mean, for a guy who might be in that situation, where they don't have the confidence and they are like, kind of stuck with that, and they want to get out of that. What do they have to do to get started to get out? Do they got to like take?
They have to want. The thing is, you can't make a man do something he don't want to do. So if he don't see that it's a problem, there's nothing that I can say. There's nothing that you can say to make him, want to be respected. He has to make the decision himself. He has to get tired of it. He has to come to a conclusion and say, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. Now
Mm-hmm,
from there, you simply say, hey, listen, if you do this again, we're done, and mean
mm-hmm,
it. And if she does it again, you have to be done. If she tries to argue or whatever, say, I'm not, this is something I'm not willing to compromise. This is something I'm not really willing to argue about. This is a boundary that I have, and if you overstep that again, we done. And that's
mm-hmm.
basically what you have to do. A lot of guys hit me and it's like, oh, what do I say? How do I respond? And it's like it's this basic taking up for yourself 101. You have to take up for yourself, whether it's a man in the streets or it's a woman. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if a bully was poking you in the back of the head, would you write me and say, "What do I say to him? How do I tell him to stop?" No, you apply that same logic with the woman. I guess a lot of times guys think that women are so different, and you have to approach them different, and you don't. Hey, listen, don't
Mm-hmm.
talk to me like that.
Do
Don't
you think
disrespect me.
now a good thing just came to mind while you were saying that, because you said guys kind of look at women as being different and everything, and that might, like, fuck them, like hold them from, like, just standing up for themselves. Do you think a lot of that is due to our conditioning? You think, like, how like, 'cause, like how we're brought up by your mom, or what you see on television, what you hear in the media. Do you think that has a part to play in it as well, or?
So it has a little to do. The way you socially engineered to treat women has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But we all come from the same place. So um, we come from the same country with the same TV programming, with the same government, same presidents, the same school system. But some of us didn't go that route. You know what I'm saying? Some of
Mm-hmm.
us didn't think like that. So again,
Right.
social engineering is a part of it, but there's something within a person to want to put another person above them, um,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lack of confidence, insecurity, a lack of self-love. When you place people, when you place people on this pedestal in order to get something in return, or in order to
Mm-hmm.
fill the hole within you. So again, it's some of it is due to, in part to social engineering, but another half of that is internal insecurity and voids and stuff like
Right.
that.
But no, no, that's I believe like the main thing that has to do with it is like the internal thing and like the way
Yeah.
you perceive yourself and everything.
Right.
Because I can recall certain stages in my areas in my life where I would put up with that shit. I would like stay with someone because I too didn't believe I could get someone else, or if say I was out on a date, and girl that like I'm waiting there for like 10, 15, 20 minutes for a girl to show up. I would actually sit there and fucking wait.
Right. Right.
And at one point, like a mentor had taught me, you got to be willing to like walk away for that because that's a sign of disrespect.
Yes.
I always used to think unless I get like like some sort of like a notice, okay, beforehand. But like if but like sometimes like if I don't, I'll be fine with that. But if I don't get any notice, or say I'm there at the time I said we were gonna meet, and I get like, oh hey, I'm gonna be like 15, 20 minutes late. That's a little late notice for me, and I'm not gonna tolerate that. And I'm gonna walk out.
Right. Well,
And I've had I've had a few situations like that, in the past few years where I did that, and the girl's like, "Well, I didn't know that was a thing." And
no. What? Oh, walking out.
yeah.
Yeah, they're just spoiled. Some women are spoiled. Guys don't typically stand up to them. So
Mm-hmm.
the moment somebody do, it's just like the moment somebody stands up to them and shows them, hey, you're not gonna fuck around with me. They get shocked by that.
Yeah, exactly. I almost think like like some women can handle that, but some women aren't able to handle that because they're so used to like guys just pedestalizing them and everything.
Right. Right. Right.
And like I don't know. I'm glad I broke away from that because like I said, like I and I'm sure in the same situation. Like you got other things you could be doing rather than wasting your time. And like to me, like honestly, if someone is especially like on a first meetup or some shit like that, and they're just kind of like being super late, like last minute, unless some freaking emergency. To me, that is like a sign they don't give a damn to be there. There's like,
Right.
okay, I'm just gonna go there, take your time, have some drinks and shit like that.
Right. Right.
So like you got to just be willing, like like I said, like when I think I got tired of putting up with that, so I just like said, well, hey, I'm able to like walk away from situations like that,
Right. Right.
and the same thing should apply if you are in a situation where you're seeing a girl who's like dragging you down.
Yeah, you have to make the decision to say, I'm tired of this, enough of this. I don't want to live like this. But until
Mm-hmm.
until you come to that point, there's nothing that I can say to get you to
Mm-hmm.
that point. You know.
But right, no, like it's all about self responsibility. You got to have the responsibility to take that action for yourself, right? We
Right.
can tell people what to do. We can tell them like, hey, take action for your life. Just like don't let this girl disrespect you. Or like, yeah, well, take action in your life. You want to get good with women, go talk to girls, but you got to be willing to do that. And a lot of guys like have a hard time taking action.
Right. Right.
And what do you
Uh,
think's the cause of that, man?
Taking action. It's not necessarily with women. It's they say it, as above, so below. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just fear of a lot of times it's fear of confrontation, fear of failure, fear of not getting the results you want. It's fear. And again, that just if a guy's scared to take action in his relationship, he's more than likely scared to take action on his job, scared to take action with his dreams, scared to take action, pursuing the life that he wants to live.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of the times that comes from fear and, trauma and anxiety and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right. And so we got to like learn how to like deal with that so we can kind of like move forward and
yes,
get ahead and stuff and evolve as guys. And I mean that was like one of my struggles at first, and that's that's why like I kind of worked with mentors. But even when I worked with a mentor, I still had that anxiety and stuff to take that
right,
action. But I had to say to myself, well, if I'm gonna get the results that I want in my life, I'm gonna have to get off my ass and fucking do it, no matter how afraid I'm doing it. And the weird thing is, like, when get this, guys, when you go out there and take that action, it's not as bad as you thought. You have this like, perception of how bad an action can be, and yeah, sometimes you're not going to get the what's the word I'm looking for? You're not going to get the the result that you wanted, but like the
right,
thing is, when you did it, that's how you're going to grow with your confidence.
right, right. That's how you action. Taking action is where you gain the confidence from.
Mm-hmm.
You right on the money with that
Exactly.
one.
Yeah, what is it? What do you like? What do you think it is about action that helps us build confidence as guys? Like, what do you think? Like,
Results.
it's the results.
Results when you see something, when you do something, or even just trying something. Overcoming fear, you get confidence from that. Getting a
Mm-hmm.
positive result, you get confidence from that. So it's just action in general. Once you let's say you scared to, I don't know, you scared to ride a roller coaster, right? Once you make the decision to ride the roller coaster, you naturally become a little bit more confident and feel good about yourself because you overcame a fear that you had. Then once
Mm-hmm.
you ride the roller coaster and you get a good experience and it makes you feel good, you get more confidence from being successful. So
Right. Exactly. One of the things, like, I really thought, like, I think is very cool. Like, and it's sure we want to go out there and learn how to get good with women. Better. Create our own business and stuff and everything. And the one thing that really you can follow up with a comment afterwards. But the one thing I kind of like realized too is like you can't be like, yeah, focus on the result, but don't let the result affect keep you from moving forward. Because I think a lot of people, especially, they get discouraged when they're going out there to investing all this time and shit. Like, especially when you're wanting to get good with women, or just kind of be more authentic around women. Like, they go out there, they take all this time to like do stuff, and they're not getting the result, and they get discouraged from that, and they want to give up. But you
hmm
can't let that. You got to look at things as a learning experience.
right, right. Yeah, when you I think they call it outcome dependent. Um, trying to get the results or worried about the result of what happens instead of just enjoying the process.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get good at learning women, then get good at learning women, not getting good at being excited because you did something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big difference. So, be more process focused than outcome focused, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I think especially when it comes to getting good with women, though, I think the reason why we want the results because we want that sex. And I think that's why we kind of when we get thrown off our square a bit when we don't see the success right away because like we're like, oh god, but there's something about us that's not wrong, and like I mean, really we're just trying to like learn how to fine tune ourselves to be more communicate properly to a girl, or or get her into bed properly,
Right,
or like you said, not have them disrespect you as well.
right. But if you plan, you always want to plan all the way to the end. But if you focus on the end, you miss everything in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go on a date, right? If I go on a date and my mind's just focused on sex, 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 this is all I can think about. I can't be in the moment and enjoy a conversation and create chemistry and things like that. Create
Mm-hmm.
vibes, create moments, get deep, share a connection. You can't do things like that. Those of which require most women to sleep with you. You got to have those things if for the average woman to want to sleep with you. So, but if you
Mm-hmm.
so focused on I gotta hit it, I gotta hit it, you know, you can't put yourself in the moment on the date where you need to be in order to make those
Mm-hmm.
things happen. So
Oh, I think that's where, like, you know, when you're kind of just like that's I like what you just said, because I do believe, yeah, you gotta be in the moment. You gotta, like, you know, build that vibe, have that communication. But if you're, you know, one of the things was struggling with a long time ago was, like, when I go out on dates, I'd be like, you just described the perfect scenario for me. I'd just be focused on having sex, worrying about saying the right thing, rather
Right.
than be focused on having the connection with the woman, vibing with the woman. And the funny thing is, when you're not like, and I realized too, when you're just kind of going out there without the focus of having sex. I mean, sure, that's a focus. I mean, us guys want sex, but I mean,
Right.
if you let go of that focus and just focus on the other things, like, you're gonna the vibe and the connection, everything is like mixing properly. You're gonna get that result.
Exactly. Exactly. 100%.
Mhm.
100%.
And I just like, and that's just what I learned, you know, to realize, to kind of let go. Because I think, like, I don't know if you get this a lot with, like, you know, the people you work with, but, you know, you think us guys tend to overanalyze stuff all the time, and the fact that we do overanalyze stuff, that it keeps us from actually taking action and being
Yeah.
present and in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of guys, they think too much about it. There's nothing wrong with being analytical, but to the point to where you like, trying to analyze every little detail about a situation, that shit does nothing for you but paralyze you, in fear because you overthink. What if she does this? What if it? Who gives a shit? Just go and do it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
women don't. Women like men. Women love intelligent men, but women don't tend to like uh men who are overly anxious. They can
Mm-hmm.
appreciate a man who's calculated and intelligent and thinks about things. But when you overanalyze things, that rubs off on them because they overanalyze things. So it kind of puts them in like a panic mode. So
Mm-hmm.
women like men who go into things with boldness and go
Mm-hmm.
into things with confidence and self assurance and boldness, like he know what he doing. So if you are overthinking shit, you thinking too much, your mind is going a million miles a minute, and you trying to, well, what if this, what if that, and worrying and all that shit. It ain't gonna do nothing
Mm-hmm.
but set you back and hold you back.
Yeah. Do you think that can cause, like, a woman to kind of disrespect you too, if you're
No,
constantly in
that
your mind?
that wouldn't cause her to disrespect you. The fact that you it wouldn't cause her to disrespect you. The truth is, all women try all men. At some point, they do little things to test you. And that in particular does not cause that. Now, that may make her see you as, not her type, or she may not be as attracted to you, and she may put you in a category to where, you know, she may like use you and stuff like that. But there's
Mhm,
different things that causes them to actually disrespect you. You know what I'm saying?
mhm. Right, yeah, no, I hear you. Well, I mean, if they use it, that's kinda disrespecting you in a way too, right? Or, like, if
Not
it
really. No, not really.
yeah,
If you know, and is it really using you? Let's say, you try to hit on a woman, right? You hit on a
okay.
woman, you go on a date with a woman, you say, hey, let's go back to my place. She said, no, and she does this 10 times in a row. Is she using you if you take her out 10 times and you
Oh,
want
okay.
sex? You see what I'm saying? You want sex, right? But she's
Mhm,
clearly not interested in sex from you, right? And the
mhm.
date for you is a means to get sex. Let's be real, right? The
Right, she
date
knows
is
that
a
too, yeah, for sure,
right.
yeah.
The date is a means to get sex, to get to know her, and a means for sex. Now, if you took her on 15 dates to make that happen, did she use you? I mean, well, did she
Well, it's your
disrespect you?
fault. Well, it'd be your kind of it'd be the guy's fault for actually
Yeah, she
not
see what I'm saying. Is that disrespectful? If
no,
if
no, I got you on that,
if
yeah.
you is it are you disrespecting a woman, right? Let's say you use her. So let's say you don't want a relationship, right? You
Mhm,
just want to hit it and you just want head, right? But she wants a relationship for you, right?
mhm,
So you are basically using your energy, using your time, not to necessarily string her along, but to keep getting what you want without giving her what she wants. You basically using her, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not disrespectful. You're not disrespecting her because you getting something out of the deal and she's not. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? That's the different, like it's a different dynamic, if that makes sense.
Right. No, that's a good analogy, though. I would
Yeah,
not have looked at it that way.
yeah.
But then, too, like the guy well, the guy keeps going into that scenario. He just has no respect for himself, too. So,
Right.
like, if he's just constantly like, because eventually at one point he's going to get super frustrated because he's not getting anything, and then but he'll put the
Now,
blame on the woman. But it's really his fault for not stopping the situation soon.
now this is the thing with that, because I get where you're going now. Being that way to where you let women use you, that's not going to make them disrespect you. But when they do, you ain't gonna do nothing about it, if that makes sense. Being as though
Hmm.
you're the type to let stuff like that happen to you, you more than likely won't. Because the things that women do to disrespect a weak guy, they do to disrespect a strong guy. The thing is, the strong guy stops it in the very
Hmm.
beginning. They all do the same thing. I don't care how alpha or strong or weak you are. They all do the same thing to everybody. Everybody gets tried. The difference is the strong guy stops it in its tracks, and the weak guy doesn't. So, being a certain way is not going to stop you, a woman, from trying you. What keeps her from trying you is when you enforce your boundaries.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
And do you think like I don't know? So like I know what you're saying right here. So do you think so the strong guy who puts an end to like all, when she keeps trying you? Do you think that in her eyes does that make you more attractive because hey you're saying to her well hey I'm not putting up with this like when you put a stand to
It,
it
it
rather
depends.
than like the weak guy who's continuing on like letting that allow her to do that to him?
It depends on her motive. All women aren't looking for a guy who can stand up for herself. Some women are looking to exploit you. Some women are looking to drain you for your energy. Some women are looking to mistreat you. And
Mm-hmm.
if I stand up for myself, that's not attractive to her. That's a repellent, if that makes sense.
Oh, so
For
yeah, by kind of like saying, okay, you're putting an end to it, and then like okay, and then she's like knows it. She's like, okay, he's not gonna fall for my shit. So it's like I either
yeah,
have to
that's
behave or just like walk away. That's what you're
yeah,
saying.
that's not an attract. All women don't aren't into that.
Mm-hmm.
Based on her motive. So, but let's say a woman is just regular and she's not toxic. She's not, that will attract her. That will be like, okay, this is a guy who's not, you know, this is a guy who's strong and he has boundaries, and he's about something. But again, if it's a
Mm-hmm.
woman who's looking to exploit you or take advantage of you, when you stand up for yourself, she gone.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's like roach spray to her.
Mm-hmm. It's like repellent.
Yeah,
No, and
exactly.
no, and I like that because analogy too, just kind of like like when you go like on the I talked about this with Mrs. Lucario last week when we did a show together. But when we were talking about going on the dating apps and stuff, and you're asking for a number yet she's not getting your number. She's like, I need to talk to you more. I want to chat more. And then
Mhm.
other that guys will just randomly just continue on chatting, and that's like it will go nowhere. And like I was just saying, no, you just put an end to it by like saying, well, hey, here's my number. Just hit me up if you're interested. So I
Right.
mean, either way, I don't give a damn if she's interested or not. If she's gonna hit me up, she's gonna hit me up. I just don't have the time to deal with the test or whatever it is she's trying to throw, or lack of interest, or the attention that she wants. Like
Right.
just today, like I this one girl hit me up again on a dating app, and I matched with her about 4 months ago. And
Damn.
yeah, I know it's weird. I've been matching up with a lot of people on the dating apps that are that I've met like a couple years ago and stuff, and then like I don't know, like I did not bother messaging the person back because I remember like when I did get her phone number and talking, I got as far as getting pictures, but it seemed like she just wanted a lot of attention, and my motives were different, and so I said to her, well, hey, when are you free to hang out? And that's all I said. I'm not gonna like push it anymore.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah, you just gotta like be aware of that. Do you think that the what do you think is the best way for guys to do that? Just like going through the experiences. How do they? how would they know, like, when, if someone's just kind of leading them on, and what can they look for, so they need to, like, put an end to that? Like, is it just
As
something
far
that
as
they're doing?
disrespect, or as far as somebody stringing you along, like
Stringing you
when you,
along, yeah, stringing you
yeah, I
along,
mean,
yeah.
if you ask somebody for an outcome, hey, let's go on a date, and they don't, it's clear. It's like, you know what's crazy? I think
Hmm.
guys know. I think guys know when they're being strung along. They just don't want to accept the fact that this girl don't like you. It's almost like, you know, when somebody's giving you the runaround. Like, you know, when somebody's um now the whole, oh, let's talk a little bit more, that's something different. But if a woman is not giving you what you want, right?
Hmm.
But it's clearly communicating with you, then it's clearly something that's going on. So if you want to avoid getting used, you make them shit to get off the pot. Hey, when are you free to get off? When are you free to hang out? When are you free to
Hmm.
meet? Let's meet up Friday. Let's do this. And if she don't want to do that, then
Hmm.
she's
Right.
more than likely leading you on. It's just simple. You make them shit, or you make them get off the pot.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah, so kind of like, I think that someone made a comment about this here. He says you can upfront say what you want. So this kind of, just kind of like be upfront with what you want, and that's the
Hmm.
best way you can deal with all this stuff. Hey, Bernie, welcome to the chat.
What's up, bro?
Bernie's a good guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's one of the things, like, we gotta, like, I guess, I think that's do you think that's the best way to kind of make the whole dating process easier, is just to be upfront? Or do you think it's better to kind of like be upfront, beat around the bush? What do you
It,
like, what's your
it
thought on that?
depends. I don't like the whole beat around the bush thing, because it's not really beating around the bush. It's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Dating, courting, creating vibes, create memories. That's not really beating around the bush. Because let's be real. If you only want sex, let's say you just only want sex and you don't want anything more than just sex, then cool. Say, hey, I want to fuck. Um, your average is going to be extremely low, right? Because the only women who are gonna really deal with you at that point is women who have extremely high interest based on what you look like physically, and that is extremely rare. Or women who are vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most women require some type of connection to sleep with you. I don't care what nobody said. Most
Mm-hmm.
women are going, even women who have high interest, right? Now, it doesn't take long to build a connection with a woman, but so I don't want to use the term like beating around the bush. But if you're a guy and you don't want to deal with women, you don't want nothing, all you want is sex, just say, hey, look, I'm just trying to fuck, blah, 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 blah. Again, your batting average is going to be extremely low. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, you're just playing the game. You're getting to know people. You courting. You dating. You
Mm-hmm.
creating vibes. You building connections, and because most guys aren't just the majority of guys in this space, even though they claim to be pumping dumps and all that. Most guys want something from women, something more than sex. Most guys
Mm-hmm.
want that. So when you dating, this is what you're looking for. This is what you're doing. Certain people say certain things based on their reality. For example, shout out to Mr. Lucario. That's my dude.
Mm-hmm.
His thing is, be upfront, be upfront, be upfront. Tell him you just want to fuck, cut to the chase, all that bullshit. You have to understand where Lucario is coming from. And sometimes I don't think he realizes this, but Lucario is married. Lucario has girlfriends already. Lucario doesn't need the companionship and all of that shit. He has all of that covered. So his thing is, bitch, I'm trying to fuck. If you ain't trying to do that, I ain't got time for you, because he already has his thing going. But most
Mm-hmm.
guys are not in that situation. Most guys are trying to get to that point. And in order to get to that point, you have to date, you have to court, you have to let them court you. You have to go through a
Mm-hmm.
process. It's a process. That's not beating around the bush.
Right.
By going through the process of what we call relationship building. You see what I'm saying? Again,
Mm-hmm.
most guys, they speak from their reality. You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting though? Like, I always like so like when I was just like having success and having lots of sex, I realized after a while like I just got tired of all the sex. So it's like kind of
Mhm.
now when I go out and talk to these girls, I make sure there's like a vibe and everything there, like because that just will keep the interest going. But if I just noticed when I just made it all about sex all the time, it like even it just gets old after a while. So you either got to spice things up a different way, or you got to look for new ways, just to kind of keep the interaction going with the girl.
Yeah, right.
And that is like, and I do think like yes, like what you say, I can go meet a girl and stuff, but if I don't have if I don't see like there's like some sort of vibe or connection, or because I like I think communicate, like just having the communication, like I said, you mix all that shit in there, it makes it like the time and the sex like fucking 50 times better.
Yeah, most women you sleep with is going. Most women are going to require that. Even if she does have high interest, you still got to talk to her. She still got to like the shit you saying. It don't take long. People think it when I say, "Oh, you got to build a connection with a woman." People think that you got to sit there all night. You got to sit there for days and weeks. It don't really. All it takes is one conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Some depending on the level of attraction, depending on how attractive she is to you, it don't take much.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But
So what
some
if you
women.
were? Oh,
Oh, go
you
ahead.
finish. I was going
No,
to
go
say.
ahead.
So you said it doesn't take that long. So I'm paint a scenario for you right now. Say you're out there just doing your own thing. You can see a hot girl and stuff. Can you have like a short interaction with a girl, like within like maybe a 2 or 3 minute interaction, and build a connection, and then like go about doing what it is that you got to do, or is it less than that?
No, if you like a celebrity or something, but
Mm-hmm.
no, it ain't no 3 minutes. It's when listen, when it's very rare to meet a woman and you just look so physically good and you say, "Hey, what's up?" You talk to her for 2 minutes and she's down to fuck. That is extremely, extremely rare. That's not going to happen. Most of your
Oh, when I
body
was
count.
talking about like getting a number and then like moving it to like a date, not fucking right away.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
sorry,
That
I
I
wasn't
mean,
clear on that.
okay, yeah. Some women, even then, some women like when guys tell me they do the whole they ask me about the when women say, "Oh, let's just talk a little bit more first," um for me that's not an automatic red flag because I understand where they come from. I understand where a woman is coming from when they say that, and that's not necessarily an indicator of interest. You have to understand, why would she give you her Instagram, right? For you to stalk her. You know how much when people stalk women and all this crazy shit that they have going on. Let's catch a vibe first. Let me see if I like you first. Before I give you my number. That when
Mm-hmm.
women say that, they don't necessarily. Now, if you don't have time for that, don't put up with that. But me personally, I have plenty of women say, "Well, let's talk a little bit more." Okay, she not comfortable, or she's not. uh she's not, she may whatever going on, or whatever, safeguards that she has, that's cool. Now if I
Mm-hmm.
go a little bit longer and she ain't moving, she ain't busting no move, okay, that's cool. But a lot of the times when I get, "Oh, let's talk a little bit longer," um and I don't really get that no more, because I don't come off like, when I get a woman's number, especially on the dating app, or when I match with a woman on a dating app, I have a small conversation with her first, instead of just saying, "Hey, let's go out to eat. Here's my number." Because when you do that, you throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it
Mm-hmm.
sticks, and your flake rate is going to be extremely high, and your success rate is going to be extremely low. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
me
Right. No,
personally,
I like what you're saying, because if I'm on a dating app, like I want to get off the app as soon as possible. So I'll do a few questions back and forth, then put my number out there. If we set up, I have set up some dates through the dating app, and I said, well, let's chat sometime before the date too, because I mean I kind of like to get a feel for what the girl's like. So I will I'll take 10, 20 minutes of my time to have a conversation with the girl, just to kind of get a feel of what she's like, and then
right,
I'll meet up later on in the week.
right, right, right. Yeah. So yeah, always, don't let certain things discourage you. Like, oh, let's talk a little bit longer on here first. You don't have to spend the rest of your evening talking, but okay, chit chat for a little bit, and then ask for the number. If she don't give it to you, then she don't like you. She was
Mm-hmm.
just bullshitting you. But I noticed, again, I don't get that no more because I do talk first. I may exchange. I may have a whole exchange with a woman, and once we build upon that little connection, then I throw the number, or I throw my number out there, or I get her number, or whatever. And usually
Mm-hmm.
that's very successful when I do it like that, instead of just, hey, I like you. Let's go out for tacos on Friday. Here's my number if you're interested. It's
Right. No,
like,
I hear
why? Like, who the fuck are you? Out of
you.
out of you know what I'm saying? Out of it don't necessarily mean that she's not attracted to you, but who the fuck are you? Why should I go out with you? I don't know you. I don't. You see what I'm saying? So guys don't are not looking at it like that. Like, I got 500 offers. Who are you? Why am I going to
Hmm.
eat to some fucking bar with you? Like, I don't even know you. I don't even know if I like you.
Right.
You
Yeah.
see
No,
what I'm
one's got
saying?
to get a feel for what you're like, man. No, that's
Exactly.
true.
So in order to increase your chances of that not happening, take the time to build a connection. It don't take much. And when you do that, your success rate will be much higher than what it is. Trust me. I can, if I talk to, if I gave my number to, and in my Facebook groups I show stuff like this.
Hmm.
If I got 20 women's number, I'll sleep with 12 or 13 of them. When most guys are batting at 5 and 10%, I know how to, number one, deal with women who like me, and number two, I know how to, you know, not necessarily give women what they want, but I know how to build connections. I know that, you have to cook the meat before you
Hmm.
eat it. You
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
you can't just go eating raw meat. You have to cook it a little bit. So, um, yeah, my success rate is in that regard is very, very extremely high, higher than most.
Right. No, that's
So,
no. I think a connection is important. Like, I mean, especially like on the dating apps, like because people, the girls don't really even know you and stuff. I like, my first message, like, I'm very just direct. I'd say, I'm just like direct and say, yeah, I find you very, like, eyes and sexy smile. I'd like to get to know you. Let's chat some more, and let's make a plan to have drinks. So I do the chat, and I normally move, like I said, a couple conversations, ask him a personal question, and and hopefully she'll ask me like the same question back. And I
right.
noticed, like, and then after that, I just kind of go for close. I'm like, okay, well, let's plan the talk and make a time to talk to her. Or sometimes when like I said, when I set up the apps on there, I mean the dates on the apps, I will talk to the girl as well. But no, it's important though. Like, and like I think that really increase your chances of getting dates. Then you got to actually go on the dates and stuff. Like, those
Right.
can be a hit or miss depending on, like, how those go. Like, I know, like, I've been on a few where I thought everything was going smooth, but then just towards the end I just didn't see a vibe there, or like the girl just didn't, nothing there, just like or so. Or
And
sometimes, like I
then
told you too, where it could keep you waiting like 10 minutes late, and then they say, "Oh, I'm not coming here," and that's when you gotta say, "Hey, get the heck out."
I always tell guys to talk to a woman at least for about 30 minutes to an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before you go on a date with her. Talk to her on the phone. If you talk to her for 30 minutes to an hour and she's still going on a date with you, um, if you more than likely can hit her. You more than likely can fuck her.
Mm-hmm.
If she get a feel for you over the phone, right? She, at that point, she knows in her head if she find you attractive enough. Now she knows. So if you go on a date, if you don't fuck it up, you more than likely will have sex with that woman. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just a lot of things that you can do and implement in order to improve your close rate. It don't take much time. 30 minutes to an hour is not gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's not just like, oh, I talked to a chick for 30 minutes to an hour. My business is going to fail and my life is gonna suck now. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly. Well,
Because while I'm spending 32 minutes to an hour and I'm getting success, you spending 30 minutes to an hour messaging the same thing to 100 different women. You see what I'm saying?
mm-hmm. Right.
Getting a little bit, and you may get the same one bitch out of 100. We both spent the hour. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I just was a lot more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Now, what do you say if you? So I've been in this scenario too, where I've had to like talk to a couple, like two or three women over the phone during the day. Have you ever been in that scenario where you have to budget your time? It can be exhausting.
Yeah, but I don't let myself, like, um if I know, let's say I get a woman's number on a dating app and I say I'm gonna call you
Hmm.
today at Friday at 8, and I meet another woman. I'm not gonna be like, I'll call you at 9. I'd be like, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. I'm busy today, I'll call you tomorrow. So I try
Hmm.
not to overbook myself when it comes to stuff like that.
Right. Did you
Now
did
in
you
the
do that?
beginning, huh?
Did you do that at one point? And it just got too like much.
When I was young, when I was real younger, I would, like,
Yeah.
bite off more than I can chew when I was young and shit. But as I got older, I learned not to bite off more than you could chew, basically.
Hmm. Right. It can exhaust you.
Right, right,
Like you can get like a you can get like a burnout from that.
right,
Just overdoing it in one day. So you got to like be able to like do what you can handle. Don't overdo it. Oh
right.
God. But no, that that's very interesting though. This everything we're talking about. We're originally going to go into disrespect. Then we're talking about like how to put an end to certain things. Being upfront and everything.
Hmm.
Um, do you now? Do you so you think that like that's like one thing that like guys need to be more of this like upfront with the girl? Do you think that's one thing they have a hard time doing? Is just like being clear and maybe building a connection too as well.
When you say upfront, what you mean?
Well, but letting them know their intentions, like what they want. Like, I mean, they can compliment a girl. They might have a
I
hard
think
time.
most guys know that don't work like that. To go up
Mm-hmm.
and say, "Hey, because what you want? You want to fuck, right? You
Right.
want to fuck." Most guys know that's not going to fly with most women.
Mm-hmm.
Most guys know that, so it's not necessarily. Now, do you have guys who scared to approach women and shit like that? Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
most
What
guys know
about
they got to.
building a connection though? Like, do you think guys have a hard time building that first connection with a girl, and that maybe kind of throws them off a bit?
Yeah, that's an issue of guys having a fear of rejection and shit like that. So you have that issue as well, where guys have a fear of rejection. They're scared of being rejected. They don't know what to say. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They scared of failure and shit. So
Mm-hmm.
that kind of you know makes them not want to even try.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah, because like you're just like, yeah, they want them that result. They want to. They like I said, they're focused on that result.
hmm
I think too, like like some people who not have good social skills too, like they can have that can cause their anxiety, but also keep them from building a connection with other people. Like, and that's why when one of my mentor that I first worked with, he always taught me just to go out there and be social with everyone. Because that way you can go build that connection with just not just women, but with guys, and plus it just helps you, formulate the habit of being social,
right.
and from there you got to kind of take it to the next level, like because I think too, like some people have a hard, like my biggest issue too that I've worked on a bit is just showing like my personality. 'Cause I got a very like outgoing but like zany, odd sense of humor, which is good, and like I can be very charismatic, but I had a hard time like showing that, and I had to learn just to kind of be more, just accept that, and just when I go have my interactions with people, to project that on, when I'm doing the interaction. So I mean, some people may have a hard time showing like who they really are at first too.
Right.
So there's
Right.
steps to this.
It is. Yeah, it is. Shit. I just go to therapy. That helps. That always helps. They got cognitive behavioral therapists and shit like that helps. And
uh-huh.
they'll set up a plan and get you going. So, but yeah, you right.
Yeah, I mean, and you can get over like one step. I think like the best, like I think the thing that also we got to do, like when you're going out there working on this too, is you got to be able to evaluate yourself, because I think like you may not know you're going out there, you're making the same mistakes, presenting like the same attitudes and stuff too, like like if you go up to a woman and even though you're making the approach, you still have that anxiety. I mean, she can detect that. When you're trying to be confident, they can detect that. And you got to
Right.
learn how to just you got to, when you analyze your interactions and be like, okay, what was I not as confident at this time? Did I stumble upon my words? Did I forget to say my name? And you got to work on fine tuning all that stuff. That's why it's such a big process. It's like, um, you know, socializing with women, and like even too, just like telling women that you're not when you if they're disrespecting you, like just being upfront with them about that. Because I mean, that was a hard thing for me, but I learned to do it, and I've gotten respect out of it. But I realized, like, I just had to set boundaries for myself, and like you're saying too, that helps you build the confidence. But like going through like all these motions and everything just helps you build that confidence and helps you be that guy that women find attractive. Helps you like respect yourself and everything.
Right. Right. Hey, you're on point with it.
Yeah. Just got to take a deep breath right here. But no, but I mean, it's like a process, like, just like it's like they should have like a self-development for like a shrink for like freaking for guys who have a hard time with women because it's so
Yeah.
many steps.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, part of the reason why you probably got into, wanted to help guys, and I wanted to help guys. We probably have been there at one point in our life where we were stuck in the same situations we're talking about right now, and like, we've grown from that. I mean, sometimes some of those old problems that we have do come back into our lives, but we know how to deal with that.
Right.
And we
Right.
just want to be here to like just kind of help you guys out, just kind of kick some ass and stuff. Because this is what you really want to get this accomplished. You really want to be like confident. You want to be, have sex with women. You want to, create this life for yourself. And it's got to make you realize it's like a journey you got to go on. There's a lot of things involved. It's no overnight success.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
And do you think like a lot of guys like go into like this whole thing when they want to get with women, like the thing like an overnight success? Like, do they believe that's going to happen in a couple days, and they get frustrated with it when they don't see the results, and they're just like, screw this, or
They didn't want to try in the first place. When you want something, when you really want something, it's just an excuse. I've learned, in doing this, when people get frustrated and give up easy, they didn't want it in the first place. They didn't want to do it in the first place. They just wanted to shut you up and say, "Hey, I tried. Fuck this shit." But that's not what they really wanted. They probably
mm-hmm.
just want a little attention.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Because when you want something, you're gonna fail. You're gonna try. You're gonna keep trying, and you're gonna keep trying, and you're gonna keep trying when you really want it. A lot of these guys don't want anything but attention.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So
Right, exactly. And then that's why then I guess it all comes back to taking the responsibility and discipline for yourself to go out there and make this happen. I mean, that's what
you'll
I did.
you'll see
Like,
that
I'm still
you
working
grow.
on it to this day. Like, I'm still working on fine tuning everything. But like, I'm glad I got off my ass and made the change because like I've had so many experiences and done things that I would never experience if I didn't get off my ass and do it.
Once you grow and you start growing your following, and more people start to reach out to you. You see a lot of these dudes don't. They just want attention. I know
Mm-hmm.
it sounds crazy that I'm saying that, but I have at this point I've got like 1 million followers at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
I get met hundreds and hundreds of messages a day. A lot of them just want attention.
Oh,
And you'll
really?
start, yeah, you'll start to see that once you start to grow. See, right now you small, so the people who watch you care, like they fuck with you, and they really want to. So you get that, but once you start to grow and your followers start to grow, you start to get bigger. You see a lot of people just where you tell them to do something, it's like, oh fuck it, fuck this shit, I don't want to do it anymore. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just an excuse, and you'll start to see the people who want it are going to do it.
Yeah.
They'll be at every live, they'll be at every webinar, every time you host a course or something, they'll be there,
Mm-hmm.
despite the setbacks, because they really want to learn. And you'll start to see a lot of those dudes. It's just like attention whores. It's like the women they claim to hate. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll see
Right.
that.
So
Watch.
they
Mark my
put
words.
Oh, okay, cool. But no, and you know what's funny thing is though, like just kind of going through the motions myself, I can sense that in other people. Like I can sense someone who really wants it compared to like who doesn't want it.
Right.
And even when I give myself I sometimes give myself excuses, but you know what I say to myself? Like, if I really want it, I'm going to do it. So if you're not going to do anything, you must not really want it. And that gives me the motivation to pull through.
Right.
But no, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
And yeah, it's just like, I think like that's true. Like if you really want something, you're gonna go through maybe 100 rejections. You're gonna figure out like what you can do to improve yourself. Like you're gonna take time to analyze, I should say, what it is you might be doing wrong during your interactions. You're gonna take your time to work with a mentor who's gonna help you get to the next level. You're gonna do what the mentor says, despite like the fear of like doing something. I remember, like, I don't know if I told you this on my last stream, but when I was first, like, when I was working with my mentor about 4 years ago, like, one of the things he had me do, which was really tough, I had to walk into a Victoria's Secret and hit on girls in Victoria's Secret.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I was
Crazy.
just like, it was like, the weird part was like, I was worried about like what people were gonna think of me like being in there. But I thought I did it. Eventually I did it. I was just saying, I was just waiting, killing some time for a movie, or looking for a present for a gift, and that's how I'd like open my interaction. So it really wasn't that bad. I think that the worst one was I had to go into a place where they just sold makeup.
Oh shit. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, because that's where all the women go. They go, but it's a confidence thing though, because you're doing something that's outside of your comfort zone. And like just by doing it and achieving it, like you're gonna be like, oh my fucking god, I did that.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, is there any last words you want to give before we end the stream here? I know I got to get going in a bit. I know you probably got to get going
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, just gotta want it, and don't let women disrespect you. Stand up for yourself. It's better to stand up for yourself than to be stressed out by a woman treating you bad. So
Right, exactly. And where will my followers find you, buddy? Like, tell them where they can find you.
on Instagram at King Dreism, KingDreism, on Instagram and TikTok, and on YouTube, just type in King space Dre, and I'll
Okay,
pop up.
cool. Yep, here believe Bernie put the thing in the chat right here, so we got you on
Yeah.
here, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you, Bernie, for putting that in there for us, and thank you, Bernie, for help moderating today. And yeah, we'll be back. We should let's do another show next year, man. You have a good Christmas and a happy New Year, and I'd like to reach out to you again. We'll spit some killer game and everything, and
For sure.
do another show in January or February. I'll reach out to you.
All right, I got you. Appreciate you. Thank you for
Thank you
having
very
me on,
much,
bro.
buddy. Always a pleasure talking to you. Take